Hello and welcome back to the Great Unexplained Debate. Here we have a show hosted by me for the next hour, so you've got to put up with looking at. There are three other people here just to make it that little bit easier in your eyes. This is an unedited show, what we say you see. Now with me today is Sarah Woodward. Thank you very much for joining me, Sarah, coming back to us. Paranormal expert, founder of White Rose Paranormal. Thank you for spending the time to come back to us. Next to Sarah we have Phil Wyman. A good mate of mine, someone I've done many investigations with, and I'm always happy to see. Don't see enough of him. Founder of Dead Haunted Nights, paranormal investigator, presenter, author, all-round good guy, and seemingly going to run the country at some point.
Thank you very much. Hopefully.
And next door to me, as usual, is Fred Batt, demonologist, witch expert, paranormal investigator.
Nice guy.
No. Thanks very much for joining us. Right, today what I want to start talking about is paranormal groups. The reason that I think it's a good thing to start off with is because there's a lot of rubbish out there. And I know we've already had a discussion some time ago about mediums, about the rubbish there is out there. But paranormal groups suffer a similar kind of thing. Just generally, tell me your experience of paranormals. I know you both run two very successful paranormal groups that are above reproach. They are very well thought of in the industry. I mean, extremely well thought of, and you do things properly, which is nice to see. I mean, it's something that is becoming a bit of a rarity. I think probably 80% of the paranormal groups out there are just doing it for a laugh and not doing it for the real reasons. But Phil, what's your take on paranormal groups in general? What the state of them, where they are now?
Obviously, since the popularity has boomed in the last couple of years, they just seem to have sprouted up left, right and centre. And it's like you say, a lot of them out there just see it as a bit of a laugh, a bit of a way to make a quick buck. And that's not really fair on the people that attend the events and the investigations, because they're there to get a proper insight on how things are run. Which is what we do. We do everything by the book. We don't fake anything, and we know for a fact that there are groups out there. And obviously, I'm not going to mention any groups. We do know for a fact that certain groups aren't as ethical, if you like, in running their investigations as what we are. So again, it's one of those areas where you've got to choose who, if you're going on a paranormal investigation, you want to sample it for the first time, for instance, you've got to choose who you go with carefully. Make sure you do a lot of background research and get some testimonials, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Sarah, what's your sort of take on paranormal groups in general?
I think it's a mixed bag, really. You get you get the guys that are doing it for fun, which is fair enough. You know, if they want to do a social thing, if it's a hobby, do it for fun. But you've got to take it seriously to a certain extent. This is people's properties that you're going into as well. If it is a public events company, then that's a completely different kettle of fish. You have to take it seriously. There's people that are coming along on your nights that are there to be guided by you.
Yeah.
I run a White Rose Paranormal, which is not a public events company. It's just that we've done it out of our own interest, and we're non-profit, so we don't make money from it.
But the thing is, it's about reputation as well. Like I said earlier, it doesn't. I'm not just sitting here bigging you guys, the paranormal groups that you've got. I'm not just bigging them up for the sake of it. But you're here because you have got a great reputation throughout the industry. Now, Fred, what's your take on paranormal groups?
Some of the ones I've met that have come to my club, Caesars in London, have been okay, but that's organised by little groups by themselves, and they've got a lot of people together, and it's not a money-making thing. But I had an incident recently where someone had advertised on their Facebook that they were doing a paranormal event at Caesars. And they hadn't even booked it with me. And so they took all this money from people, £50 a time, through a PayPal account, then closed the PayPal account down and just disappeared with the money. But they didn't disappear because people contacted me, and I got trading standards and the police involved, and they caught the guy that did it.
Also, PayPal are pretty good at tracking that sort of fraud down.
Well, no, they didn't do anything for me. I had to do it through the police and trading standards.
I know they do have a very good reputation, PayPal, for that sort of thing.
I mean, that's a big point for us, especially. We've found lots of nice locations that we'd like to do, not just commercial investigations at, but private investigations at. But because they've already had groups gone in and totally disrespected the property, the people that run the property, it's kind of put a block on us going in there, which is kind of unfair, really.
Because you guys have got basically two different business frames, haven't you? I mean, obviously yours is a public.
That's it, yeah.
People could come along and yours, as you say, is out of your interest in the paranormal. But I think that it's one of the things with this sort of paranormal explosion that has been. I think it's kind of always been there, but in the last sort of 10 years, it kind of exploded, and it almost seemed to do it again about 5 years ago for some reason. You know, it almost sort of went, and from having maybe sort of a couple of hundred, 50 to a couple of hundred investigation teams, if that, 20 years ago. Now, there are literally thousands, and there's nothing stopping people from saying, I am now Red Candle Paranormal investigation. If there is a Red Candle Paranormal investigation, I don't actually mean it, I'm just saying it's because I've got a red candle in front of me. That they could start up their own paranormal thing, and it doesn't matter who they have, they can get anyone they want in there and just turn up haunted places, because a lot of people think it's a jolly fun thing to do, and it isn't, is it?
If you do it properly, it's great, okay, but what you've got to remember is you've got to take into account that you're going to be looking after guests throughout the night. You've got to have everything in place properly, you've got to have insurance in place properly, all that kind of thing, and make sure that your guests have a good time, you know. And unfortunately, we have quite a few regular customers turn up on events again and again and again, and they do, obviously, because we don't stop people going on other companies' events, talking from obviously a company perspective, and we do get feedback from those people. And we have heard of cases where they've been on them, they turn up, they have about a 10-minute chat about what the location is, what they're supposed to be doing, and then they go, off you go.
You're on your own devices, basically.
Exactly, walk around the location on your own.
But surely, a lot of these people will come to these things, and a lot of them will be first-time investigators. It'll be the first time, because, let's face it, before this was available, this type of what you do, it was available. You couldn't really do it. You couldn't go to people's houses for a weekend.
No,
the luckiest thing you could possibly do was go and spend a night in a haunted room in a hotel if you could get the room. But because it's their first time, they need to be nurtured and taught.
Exactly.
Because you want them to go away. Because I've always had this thing that the more good paranormal investigators there are out there, the more possibility we've got at actually getting proof of the phenomena that other people witness and that we witness, but we're either that slight half a second behind it too much, or we've just seen it at the corner of our eye. But someone will get it, providing they're taught properly. And what you've just said, and this is one of the things I know about what you do, that you're with people that they have a good time, but they actually experience the event. So what you do, you experience the event. It's not just let's go there, let's get as much money as we can get, do as little as possible. I know of people, and this is one of my big things with. See, I think we should start looking at some sort of regulation with certain paranormal groups, because I know of people who will get a celebrity or someone known in the industry, and we'll get them to come in for half an hour. And they will, they can charge whatever they charge. It's up to them. But the people will come along to see that person, and to not just it's so and so from the telly. It's literally because they've had a wealth of experience in the paranormal, and they will think, I want to talk to them. But half an hour they'll come in, blah 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 blah, enjoy, and then they'll go home. Now. That, for any experience, I know if that was my first experience, I probably wouldn't go on.
It puts you off basically for life if you don't get the right experience to start with. It's like you said, there are a lot of groups that have people come in as a special guest, and I've been to events where people have been in special guests as well as myself.
Can I just hold you there, and we'll continue that straight after the break,
Yeah.
because we just got to go away. Join us in a couple of minutes.